the SEO quadrant. Dang, I've been doing this for how many days now? 8 days in a row. How many episodes though? Like you see, I can't even speak because I've been talking for a long time. But I'm so happy that I'm still talking to you. I'm still building with you. We're still learning something new, and yeah, we can definitely do some things here. Huh. Yeah, today is going to be really exciting because I'm going to be publishing an article while on live with you. I've actually set everything up. I just have a few tweaks to put in there, and then it's up. And then you'll be able to see the article. I'm writing an article, and it's so interesting. Like the way the process is now is beautiful. So I'm going to share this with you so you can, have an idea of, what this is and how it's going to be built into the topic for today when we're looking into things in terms of, how to establish your business online, how to create the right impressions for your connections. And, there's some things that you'll have to definitely do and see, because when you think about the long term effect, right? And you're thinking about the goal and you think about the communication you're using to send that goal, right? Right? Like what's the asset? What's the bottle? There's a message, but there has to be a bottle, right? And that has to come with some consistency. And that consistency deals with relevance. And let me give you an example. If you go to a restaurant today, because I like to be relative, so when I make a statement or say something, you can hear the example and understand the concept. So the example is, if you go to a restaurant or you want to go to a restaurant to eat, would you rather go to a restaurant that has the latest review yesterday, or would you want to have a review that had their latest review maybe 6 months ago? You'd probably choose the one that was yesterday because you want to know what they're cooking, how they're cooking, how their service was. If it was yesterday, even better. If you're trying to book a hotel, you go to Expedia, you go to, what websites do you go to? You go to, there's so many. There's booking.com. You can check them out. There's one website I use, and you guys can check this out. I don't do travel rooms, but I love to travel, so I know some things when I do SEO research for stuff. And I connect to my friends and they tell me some things. Yeah, it saves you a lot of money in the future. So I know a lot of people travel. So if you're traveling or if you like to travel, especially with what's going on with flights, yeah, you can use a website called or an app called Skip Lagged, SKIPLAGGED.com. You can see it on the App Store. Just Google it and you'll see it on the app stores. Get it, predict your prices, plan ahead. You can literally pay a trip, round trip, for like $100, $20, $250, depending on where you're going. So it's crazy. Like I did a trip and it cost me like 250 round trip, where on average it's supposed to cost you over double, maybe 500 up. There's a trip that I did for my uncle recently, and that trip was less than 2 grand, which normally is supposed to be 4 grand. So when you do the numbers, it's crazy. That app is wild. Like you can go to like New York or go to Washington, go to Dallas, go to Oregon, go to Denver, wherever you're going, for like maybe $10, $30, $50. And you're probably asking me like, is that even possible? Yeah, it is. I didn't believe it till I got my ticket. I was like, yeah, I'm just spending some time. No one told me to do this, but I felt like I've been talking a lot about SEO and stuff, but I want to give you guys something you can use outside SEO. So yeah, you can definitely get it. It's a global app. you know what? I'm gonna kick it off like this. Let me just do this really quickly. Skiplag.com. Like this is it's not a there's no science to this. This is not like it's just it's just simple. There we go. Boom. I put the link up and I'm going to keep this up for the next 5 minutes and then we'll proceed. So let's see if it's going to change. Give me a second. Is the link broken? Huh. I don't like it when links look like this because the metadata. Okay, this is an SEO thing now. Let's see. They should have. Okay, so their protocol doesn't have a www. So let me try that. It doesn't need to have it, but if that's what's causing it to look like this, then we need to change it. All right, you guys, I'm actually doing a live test right now. So let's see if it changes. It doesn't even change. That's interesting. Okay. So, all right, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you the Apple version of this. And if you have it on Android, just check the same. If you have an Android, just check the same link. I like to give good experiences. So when I see links like this, it's an SEO problem. So probably they don't even have that fixed. All right, here we go. So this is the link. It's about flight booking, unrelated to today's topic, but very relatable to your day-to-day movement. And Edward, happy club versary. Clubhouse, I see you. I don't know how many years, but that's another year added. So thank you for being on the platform. Thank you for being here. And I'm excited that we're having a great time. America Supermom, I see you. Hope you're doing well. Austin, I see you too. And we're a lot of people in here, and I see you all as well. I'm gonna definitely give you guys your flowers. How are you guys doing? Hey, Miss Andrea, America Supermom, what's going down?
Good to see you. I'm
Hey,
just here listening. So glad to be here.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
glad to be here as well.
So glad that you're here. You guys are all welcome. It's great. We've been doing this since I started this room. I was counting like this is day eight. I've done a daily room since August 1st. August 1st. And I'll give you guys a story in between today's room about yesterday's room that will surprise you about what I'm just doing. Like podcasting is it's like this. I don't even know how to describe it. You have to really feel it or see it to know. Because I can explain it all day, but if you can't see it, you won't know what I'm talking about. So yeah, I'll leave it at that and come back to that. Edward, nice to have you here, man. Happy Clubhouse anniversary. How long have you been on Clubhouse?
I think 2019. I joined 2019.
2019. I joined
Yes, I think during lockdown.
June. You joined
During
you
lockdown.
joined because it was June 2020. Because I joined November
Yeah.
2020.
Okay, I think during the lockdown season, I think during COVID era.
Yeah, that was 2020. Okay. Yeah, because I know like it started on like May up until like December and then it picked up in 2021.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Wow. True, true. Thanks for joining, man. I see you've always been in the room. I haven't had a chance to connect with you. We'd love to hear from you. Just introduce yourself, and if you have a question or comment, please let us know.
Okay, all right. So I think I'm Edward. Edward from Ghana, and I've been joining the session from time to time. But in just these recent days, I've been a bit summed up with work duties, so I haven't been able to contribute that much. Yeah, I see we are having interesting conversation, and I didn't join early, so I'd love to listen to more of the details you have to share, and also share my thoughts. Yeah, so that is it.
Thank you. Thank you so much for joining, Edward. I appreciate that. If you have any questions as well, please put in the chat to anyone in the room too. If you have a question, put in the chat. If you leave, I'll answer your question if you leave it in the chat so that if you come back and listen to the replay, you'll find the answer here. I want to make this very accessible for you all. This club, literally, we just tipped over 349,000 members. That's not a joke at all. And this is one active house, that I'm not the owner to, but I'm the leader of. And I've been able to do this just consistently. Like, I think I've probably tipped over 200 rooms here. I have to count. Like, I have to really look at, and some of them are not even here because I had to delete some off, and some of them had the replays off. So the ones that are here on Clubhouse, I have to sit back and just count the number of rooms. Let me tell you guys the first room I did in this house. This is 2021. I think it was November, because I didn't have access to this till like a year in. And then I just started joining, connecting with people, just to give you guys a backstory of this house. Because a lot of people, I don't talk much about it. So this is really good context because I'm kind of giving you guys like a 12-day Christmas feeling, because it's going to be 5 years for the podcast next Monday. So I'll be doing daily rooms, however long, however short, it's happening. And I'll give you some stories on this. So, you know, doing this rooms from the beginning has been really eventful, because the first room I did in this house was when I featured a guest, and he works at SEMrush or SEMrush. And we had a conversation and it was really good. We talked about the tools, SEO, and yeah, his name is Rich. Yeah, can never forget his name. And Rich Barnett. Yeah, I'm very good with like photographic memory. So he's really good. And we had a connection. We talked here, and that's how I kicked off. And then, I was able to, get on the platform. And then the owner of this platform, Mike Prasad, I've never met him personally, but one of the top leaders here, Rob, he used to have SEO fundamental rooms here daily. I think was it daily or weekly, but it was very consistent. And we would have like 2 hour sessions just breaking down SEO. Like, everyone is in SEO just talking. So it's just me talking. So imagine if there are like 10 other people who do what I do in 10 other areas within SEO talking to each other. It was really eventful. And yeah, I hope we bring it back. So from then on, Rob brought me in, and I've been here since. So just being, I also have my own houses, by the way. It's not like I don't have my own houses. I have an all things SEO house here. I have a Pinterest and SEO marketing house here. So if you tap on my profile, you'll see it. There's also business conversations. There's also my actual house. I have them there. But why I come to the marketing club is because I want to be contextual with my targeting, with my engagement, with my referencing. Because when I hear feedback, people say, hey, we listen to your chat bubbles and we come to the room or we check the replays. These are people who are listening. They may not tell you they're listening, but they are actually benefiting from what you're telling them. So paying attention to those details allows you to connect with people deeper because you care. It's not about who's buying or who's selling. It's about who's connecting and who's applying. So that's why I'm coming here to, give you guys some insights on what's happening. And as I'm speaking to you live, within this hour before the room is over, I'm going to publish a link. I've already finished it, and it's the SEO quadrant, right? There are 4 pillars of SEO. There are 4 pillars. There are more, but for you to have a house in order, you need to have these 4. And if these 4 work for you, you're gonna soar so high. So I'm gonna tackle them, and at the end of the last one, I hit the 4th one. I'm going to put the link and switch it so you guys can read the article. It's a very short article, but it's very impactful because when you click on the links in between, you'll be able to also connect, leave your contact information. If you've never connected with us, get your SEO insights. I send out emails, like very insightful emails. Speaking of emails, I got an email this morning from someone. Let me go to the email. Like, when I see these things happen, I'm just like, wow, it happens every time. And I'm just grateful that, people listen to episodes, they listen to podcasts. You don't know who's listening, but when they listen, they actually connect. So, yeah, there we go. What's his name? Peter. Yeah, his name is Peter. No, that's somebody else. Wait, that's somebody else. There's another one. Joe, that's his name. Okay, there were 2. He sent this email at 5:36 a.m. Central. This is what he said. I'm reading the email to you guys. This is when I knew that what I'm doing here, I'm happy with whatever happens because I'm excited about what people are listening to and they're applying it wherever they are in the world. and I'm meeting with him next week, Monday, because he gave me his calendar. So he said, book a call, let's talk. He has an AI tool he's building. So yesterday's episode on Reddit versus Quora, we did an episode here called Reddit versus Quora, which one is better? So if you listen to the replay, if you click the link above, you can also listen to the replay on Apple, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast. And even on the web, you can listen to it there. You don't have to, go into a platform to listen. So it's easy access. Now, here's where it gets interesting. He sends me an email and says, hey, I was listening to your recent episode comparing Reddit and Quora. And this is when I knew he was actually listening, because in my head, I'm like, who's going to listen to 2 hours, 3 hours? People do. You might be driving to work for an hour, 2 hours, you might be in traffic, and you're going to listen to a podcast show. By the time you get home, you're done with the episode. So these things are happening in real time, and I'm just watching it. So he says, hey, I was listening to your recent episode comparing Reddit and Quora. And around the 1 hour, 26-minute mark, I was like, oh, okay. You made a point about how Listen Notes is like Google, but for podcasts. And I remember saying that. Then he said, as someone building podcast tools myself, I completely agree with what you said. Then I said something else. These two scores are not determined by you nor me. It's determined by third-party websites like Listen Notes. And that's what I was referring to, listennotes.com. Then he now said, I'd love to pick your brain more on this topic if you're open to a quick chat. Now, I was like, okay, what would this be about? So I now checked it and I said, okay, let me see, what this is going to mean for us if we're going to have any type of connection. And I checked his website, right? And it's not even free promo. I'm just giving you guys a result of what came out of yesterday's episode. It's called Pod Engine. So if you go to podengine.ai, that's his website. I don't know about it. So if you guys walk there, just tread lightly. So I'm gonna say you guys right now, because I don't know about the platform. I'm still doing research, but I have confidence that what I'm looking at is potentially going to be something really good for you. So what it technically does, from what I see, is that you can be a guest, you can find sponsors, you can track mentions, you can be able to search over 1 million transcripts, which is crazy. You can have a guest workbook flow, you can have all the data you need. And if you scroll all the way to the middle, there's a section where he has all those platforms. When he sent me the email, he didn't send me my website. He sent me his website, which has my article. No, not my article, my link, my, what do you call it, my episode. I'll actually show you guys. It's called podengine.ai. So boom, this is exactly what he sent me. This is it. There you go. So that episode you see there, if you click on that link, it's going to take you to his website, and that's where you can see like chat with this episode, actionable tips. He even has an AI tool there. So instead of you listening to the whole episode, you're like, oh man, I can't listen to this 2 hours. In that episode, that section, you can talk about challenges, controversy, chapters and topics, guest bio. There's a transcript there. It says yesterday I spoke for 123 minutes. That's the reading time. And my transcript word count is 24,599 words. So when you start thinking about how much you say, what you say, when you say, where you say, then you can say, okay, a lot of people are listening, people are connecting, and we really need to make sure that we're not leaving people or taking people off course, right? Because the whole idea of creating connections with people with podcasts is not so that you just show up because you have a show. That's not the goal. The goal is to educate, is to inform, is to inspire, is to rewire, right? And when you think about the last one, the last word I said, you have to unlearn some things to learn some new things. For example, I'm left-handed, right? So when like I brush my teeth, and this is something you can try. If you're right-handed, you can try the opposite. So I brush my teeth with the opposite hand, with my right hand, because when you wake up in the morning, it also activates, it's called your reticular activating system. So your brain gets alert because you're technically not used to brushing your teeth like that. So you have to rewire your brain so that you can actually brush it in a way that doesn't actually, knock your teeth off, right? So that you can also brush the way you normally do, but it takes a different direction. And that takes patience, right? So try it out. It's a good way to, wake up to. I'm just giving you guys like little dips because I can't talk about everything at once. I've talked about travel, I've talked about toothbrushes. So it's very random, but you can try it out. Like now I use electric toothbrushes, compared to, it's I'm doing my own thing and I'm telling you guys what I'm doing. So when you like hear those little scoops, those little pockets, you can go do research and see what's out there because I can't say everything. But what I definitely can say is the reason why I'm also giving you this contextual information is because I use content to find information like this. So when you're thinking about establishing your business online, that's the same thing I'm doing right now. And that establishment doesn't have to repeat the same thing over and over. Like if I say SEO 5 times, you guys might just get so bored of me talking about SEO that you don't want to hear another SEO terminology again. That's how bad it could be if I was not considering different avenues, different ideas, and different concepts. So in this context, it's more to deal with what is the ultimate goal? What do we need to understand about building our business? If we're building our business, then what do people see when our business is in front of them? Because sometimes we're online and people see our business and they're really like confused. Like, is this what you're leaving out there? Like, I would look at someone's website and it still says 2017 in the footer. And in my mind, I'm wondering what went wrong here. And those are little things that Google will tell you, hey, I'm not going to put your website on the top of the search because Google likes experiences. Google loves experiences. Google thrives on experiences. So if you want to also be in that experiential phase, then you also have to create those phases of emotion. So you can be online and you're looking at something on your screen and you don't like what you're seeing. You're going to bounce, you're going to leave. So the less bounces we get on our website, the more relationships we build on and off the platform. So today I want to talk about how to establish your online business, right? Whether it's on websites only, whether it's physical stores, brick and mortar, whether it is a digital e-commerce store, whether it's just an email list, whether it's just a subscription, whether it's one person on your subscription list to infinity, this is for you. So I'm going to break it down into 4 parts, right? The first part, right, is called on page search engine optimization, on page SEO, right? And what does that mean? On page, because there are three. There are actually two. There's one that's on, the second one is off, but there are also three, and then there's a fourth one. Then there are definitely other ones, but these are the 4 corners of your website. Like if I give you everything, yeah, you'll take it. But if you don't understand the concept of one, then it won't be easy for you to understand the others. So if you understand these four, then these four will at least you can walk on on all fours. If you think about like all hands on deck, right? So when you put things in perspective, you can be able to analyze things faster. So with on-page SEO, right? What on-page SEO does for you is that it allows you to optimize your web page, right? It allows you to optimize your web page. Your web page is so important because that is what people are going to be looking at when they're on your website. And if you want to see successful people connect with you online, and you're actually getting the right people to actually connect with you online, the goal is to understand why they're even coming to you in the first place. And how you're going to discover that is when you already have information about yourself. It's like, this is a perfect way to give you this case in point study. Imagine I come to you and I say, hey, my name is Favor Obasi Ike. What's your name? Oh, my name is ABCXYZ. Oh, nice to meet you. Okay, nice to meet you too. What do you do? Then you start connecting like that. Then you ask me the same question. Then, oh, I like that. Okay, I used to do that. Oh, you went to this school? Oh, yeah, me too. I was in this. Before you know it, you've connected from how are you to wow. So those 2 points take a lot of emotional engagement, psychological engagement, logical engagement. And how that makes sense for you is, if you're thinking about it in SEO terms, in search terms, what are people searching for you on their page that they can find your page on their phones or their tablets or their computers? That's the real question you want to answer, because when you answer that question, then more people start to connect with you faster. Because anytime you show up, they know, yeah, if this person is showing up, this is what I'm going to learn. Like, if you know what class you're going into, you're going to understand what information you're going to receive. So the goal here is to build relationships so that those relationships turn into referrals, they turn into connections, they turn into business deals, and ultimately they turn into brand value. Because we're not just going to do this for value's sake, right? Welcome, Austin, Monty, and John Michael. Thank you for being here. As well, Michaela, Casey, Husan, Boss, Feraldi, I hope I said it correctly, and Mark, thank you for being here. When you create consistency in on-page SEO, then people will see you more times online. Gone are the days when SEO was like, oh, you rank for this one page. Yeah, rank for that one page, but make sure that that's not the only page you have out there. Because if that's the only other page, there are billions of other pages that will tank yours in a second. Because the number of pages that are released on Google daily is beyond control. So if you think your one article, because you have SEO on it, quote unquote, that is going to, no, you have to support your one video, your one blog, your one podcast, your one book with other related semantically indexed. That's the keyword there, semantically indexed. In other words, you are creating file directories online that match the phrase of the uniform resource locator, which is a URL within the context of where you are publishing that on your domain, which is your website. So Google, Bing, YouTube, Pinterest, these are all great big websites. What happens with their URLs, the uniform resource locators, is in their boxes and their servers, like in the YouTube servers, in the Google servers, in the Pinterest servers. What happens is they look for the most relevant, most impactful, and the most resourceful information. And that comes within their guidelines, EEAT, the acronym, which stands for experience, expertise, authority, trust. When you have those four, then your business, your brand, your link, you start to grow. You start to really get up there. So on page SEO begins with understanding how you can show up on individual. The key here is not just online, because you can say online and you can be everywhere. The key here is individual, because when somebody's spending time, like right now, we can be in two clubhouse rooms at the same time. We're here, right? So if you click on another link, you're leaving this page to that page. So this is an individual web page. Yes, we're on an app, but it's a web page. If you start thinking about these things beyond app swipe, left click, yeah, those are great things, but scientifically, they're codes, they're systems, they're processes, right? So you have to think about those things, right? So when you're here, this is an individual page. So how do you rank your page and earn more relevant traffic? That's a key phrase. Earn more relevant traffic. Why can you earn more? Why can you earn more? The reason why you can earn more is because there's something called a market share of keywords. So if you're ranking for, let's say for me, Pinterest marketing strategy, right? There are thousands, millions, billions of other pages out there that talk about the same thing. But why is mine, or why is somebody else's page ranking, or why is your page ranking and not theirs or mine? It's because you decided to focus on the first 100 words and the last 100 words of your blog, your video, or if I transcribe it, your script. Because some people have scripts, some people just go on the fly, some people know what they want to say, some people have to plan what to say. But within those first 100 words to the last 100 words, the keywords that you are addressing have to be stated within those places. That's why when you look at like regular TV, your favorite show, it starts off with the theme song, it starts off with the intro, then it ends with the credits. When you watch a movie, it just doesn't start right away. You get to see, advertisements, you get to see trailers before you get to watch the movie. Because when you watch the movie, they've given you about 15 to 30 minutes of watch time that you didn't pay for, but you did because you paid for the movie. You didn't pay for the trailers, but you got the trailers as a value add, but your time was also invested. Because if they started the movies at the time that you paid for it, then you wouldn't have more time in the. You get where I'm going with this. So the idea here is, how do you earn more? So you earn more relevant traffic by creating more pages. That's like more. And I don't mean more Instagram pages or more TikTok pages or more Facebook pages, more web pages that you own. So let's say you have 5 pages. Let me not say five because that's a little. Let's say you have 50 posts on Instagram. Those 50 posts should be translated to 50 blogs, 50 articles, 50 newsletters, 50 emails, 50 sends, 50 publishes, 50 places, because that one thing you said has resonated with a lot of people. I talked about an email that I got today, this morning, from somebody who listened to, he wasn't on Clubhouse. He probably listened to the podcast online because we're listened to in over 113 countries. So it's hard for me to even track these days. So when I publish it and it's gone, whoever's listening to it, it's gone, right? And it's a beautiful experience because what you get back, you don't know, because you've given your all. So when you receive in abundance, right? To whom much is given, much is required, right? So there is a way you have to earn more traffic, relevant wise, using search engines, because when you have more pages on your website, it means you have more context, more stories. If you look at I talked about it, was it yesterday or the day before? When you have more context. If you look at a book may be so thin, the other one may be a little thick, and then the other one is like a big book, like an encyclopedia. You're probably going to open the encyclopedia more and spend more time there because you have more pages to page through, or to swipe through, or to cruise through, or to scroll through, or to see through. So by the time you're through with those pages, you know exactly what you're looking for. So when you go for the next book, you've gained knowledge, you've acquired information, you've learned something new, you've retained information. Now, when you're thinking about that same thing with your website, you're thinking that with Google search, you have to think about on page, individual web page, relevant traffic on your website, because those things will categorize into four places. Keyword optimization, where I've told you where you naturally have to place them, because when you naturally place something somewhere, it feels good. When you think about the vase in your house, or you think about the TV in your house, you think about the dining room set in your house, or you think about how you place your bed, wherever you did, right? You decided to use that specific geometric, right, to place it there and say, okay, my bed is going to look like this. It's going to face the window. It's going to face the wall. It's going to face the door. You know exactly what you did because you naturally placed it there. And why is it natural? Because that's what you felt, and that's what is innate. That is what is within you, right? So you naturally, because it's in your nature to do that. So when you naturally position keywords, words that are key to people's search, that's what keywords are, right? They're just words. So you hear keywords, it's just like, okay, what words can I put within my keys? Or like when you look at your keys, if you have a bunch of keys, every key opens a different door. One can open the car, the other one can open the garage, the other one can open the closet, the other one can open the bedroom, right? All those keys have different entry points, right? So if you have different pages on your website that open different doors, that have different conversations, that have different people, that have different audiences, that have different searches, then within those rooms, you can contextualize and actually add more value to the conversations because you've opened the door. How did you open the door? You opened the door because you had the key. And what did that key have? It had a word, a phrase, a sentence, a paragraph, an illustration, a statistic, a link, a quote, a story, something contextual that was tangible enough to be resourceful for someone to actually use as information that's credible and justifiable to make an informed decision. So when you think about the keywords you're targeting, you have to naturally place them in your copy, your captions, right? Place them naturally in your titles, place them naturally in your headers. Your headers are different. When I look at people's websites, I'm like, here we go. Because some people don't really know what they're doing with their headers, right? But there's always room for improvement. Like I'm always learning. So I always like to show because I'm always excited about doing those things because I don't get to do them because they've been done. So if somebody has never done them on their website, I'm excited to do it because I get to do it again. So when you have headers, those headers match from heading 1 to heading 6. So heading 1 is your title. Like if you look at a book on a shelf, that's the title of the book. What you read on the book is H1, right? H2 is the subheading, the chapters, right? All those chapters you see there in the book, those are all H2s. Within those chapters, there are sub chapters in the book. Those are H3s. Now, let's say in those H3s, you want to emphasize a little bit more and say, here are 3 points, 4 points to consider. That's H4. The more and more you go down into H6, people don't really get to H5 or 6. Mostly they get to 4. But you need to have 1, 2, 3 at the very least, right? Because when you have a heading, a subheading, and a contextual heading, then you're heading somewhere with information. So when someone hears you, listens to you, reads from you, learns from you, then they can understand what you're saying because they can naturally implement it. If I can't naturally show it to you, then you can't naturally understand it. So there has to be a bridge. There has to be a gap. There has to be some type of connection. Amen is in the building. Hey, Amen, welcome to the room. When you naturally position yourself in those places, you're able to give people more context about your business. Because when you naturally place headings, meta descriptions, in other words, descriptive text. So instead of saying today's Thursday, I'm like, today's Thursday? you have a different feeling because I didn't just tell you something you already know. I've actually sparked you to think about the day. Or it is Thursday, yeah, because I asked you the question. But if I just tell you today's Thursday, you wouldn't even think about responding back because you're like, okay, what next? Because you've already answered that. So, point here is naturally, you have to give someone the ability to see what you're trying to tell them through your structure. Then, when you now have your meta tags, those meta tags have contextual value. Because if I'm talking about, let's say, the SEO quadrant, how to establish your business online, the relevant tags to this room would be business, SEO, establishment, online marketing. It would be SEO, of course. It would be, I can say the quadrant. I can say 4 ways to improve SEO. I could say, anything to do with that business development because I already know what this means. So contextually, I can add all these keywords into my blog, into my thesis, into my podcast, into my structure. So I don't have to unnaturally say things because it doesn't sound forced. When things sound forced, like you're trying to sell me something or you're trying to sell someone something, it feels forced because it feels like you're trying to force the words out before it's too late instead of naturally asking questions. Hey, how would it feel if you actually did this instead of that? Their expression, their reaction, their feeling lets you know how to respond, not how to react. So when you're connecting with people online, you have to pay attention to what they're looking at, right? Speaking of looking at things, I don't know if you know this, but if you look at if you change, and this goes to email, blogs, anything HTML, hypertext markup language, right? Anything that is online. This is for you as you're listening, right? If you increase your font size from, if it's a 12, 14, switch it to at least 16, 18. You're going to see a huge increase in your conversions, at least a 2 to 3% increase in your conversions. If you send an email, check the font size of the email. Like it's that specific. Test it out and see. The more you put out your emails and send out emails, blogs, and all these things, the better it is for people to read. Because sometimes some people cannot read, and if they can't read what you're showing them, how are they going to understand what you're telling them? So you have to make sure that those things are there within those structures. Then you have to think about the URL structure. I talked about it also. Think about using clean descriptive URLs. Clean. And when I say clean, it's like cleaning your house. Like, here's where the washer is, here's where the clothes are, here's where the spoons are. Like, it's that clean, right? Because you want to have a clean house. You want to have a clean dish. You want to have a clean, you know, table. You want to have a clean sink. You want to have a clean bed. You want to have a clean website. So the cleanliness of your website begins at home. When they say charity begins at home, it begins with your URL. It begins with your structure. If your house is leaking, the structure is gone because you have to pay for that, pay for this, do this, insurance, boom, boom. Before you know it, you're tired. So mentally, physically, financially, otherwise. So if you want to live in a house that feels clean, comfortable, and you're building it from scratch, use clean descriptions. Even on LinkedIn, before you even post a newsletter, they ask you, do you want to update your LinkedIn URL? There's a reason why they're asking you that. Sometimes people just default hit send. And I'm like, okay. Then 2 years later, you wonder why it's not working when you forgot to begin at home. Begin with the URL. If your topic is talking about SEO, business development strategy, have those words in those URLs. At least make them between 2 to 3. It can be long. Trust me, I've had long URLs. The cleanliness is in the concisiveness of the description you're actually trying to convey. It's not the fluff, because that fluff will just keep you anywhere, to keep you on any station. But you have to stay within the parameters so that people can find you within those search fields. So I'm gonna pass it to you, Laron, and yeah, we'd love to hear from you. Welcome.
Yeah, for sure, man. I think what you were touching basis on is actually really like very, very detailed. Um, all the way down to being clean and organized. Like even on the platform that I have now, I make sure interviews are where interviews are. I make sure publications are where publications are. And then each email that I'm going to send out, whether it be a press kit or whatever it may be, that detailed description, when they say less is more, like I can drive you to an area where all the information is where I want you to take a look at. But in the reach and the outreach is what it's called. It's very detailed and descriptive of what exactly I want you to go, what I'm about to have you go look at. And sending out to publishing lists and media contacts, you have like maybe like 6,000 sometimes, like individual contacts on one list, and you have to send in like an email like to each individual. Yeah, you can copy and paste in certain areas, but you have to make it so detailed and descriptive to to that person to whom you're reaching out to. You don't always want it to be like a generated kind of ordeal. And when doing so, especially if it's like a single, if it's a publication or an interview, um, definitely wanting to get that point across, like very detailed and straightforward. It's so punctual, that it helps you later on. It gives you like a presentation via. I love sending emails. I'm not gonna lie, because like I like to manicure them and detail them out to where it's full, it's straight to the point, and it makes people want to go back and forth with you. When you do get that interaction with someone based off an email that you send out, it's actually quite fulfilling.
That is so true. Yeah, the fulfillment is like when you've really given someone like your time, you've sent an email, you've actually thought about sending it.
Yeah, and then you get that, oh my gosh, that man, it's like a rush because you who knows where the conversation can go from there, you know?
Exactly. That's usually the beautiful thing about it. I love that. Amen. We love to come to you too. What are your thoughts? Because I know you talked about business development, growth strategy, and that's what we're looking into. And you're also into that as a consultant. We'd love to hear your thoughts on this too.
Hello, Favor. Hello, everyone. Well, that's an amazing question. Especially with what currently happening is that you can see, if you want to know, guys, how much powerful is your SEO. I just want you to look up that what happens with Google currently when a company in that size of Google found guilty about having used all the search engine optimization industry to their own advantage alone. That's telling. It shows you who uh, simply SEO for me is like the the right address to the mail. If you have done everything right and you're doing the packaging of the gift you're sending and everything, but you're missing the address, the mail that the address that you're sending this gift to. Simply, it's not gonna be delivered. It's not gonna be received. SEO is the same exact thing. It's the address that regardless how great your product is, how much you're amazing in the writing, if you're not taking care of of the SEO, simply you are not going to reach where you want to reach. Those specific individuals you want to reach to, you're not going to be able to reach them. And speaking about business development and product development specifically, the SEO is one of the products or the results of the um, product development. Because as I told you before, for me, it's the SEO is simply the right address to your delivery. So if you're not um, continuously working on understanding the algorithms, the little tips and tricks that Favor was just mentioning is telling so much. It's changing all the time, and so you want to keep yourself updated because, as I told you now, it's about the delivery. It's about how you package your content. It's about how you package your um, product or service. For me, it's as important as how you package your product. If you're not taking care of the product that you're offering to the world and your brand, you're not going to be taking care of the SEO. But simply as this idea is the SEO, you got to make sure that your delivery to your brand is well done by making sure that your SEO is well done. And um, another small tip, we don't know what we don't know. So either you have time to learn well, or you give it to those who understand it better than you do, and you do your do what you do the best and delegate the rest. This is a simple uh, business growth hack, guys. Delegation is a key, and respecting the expertise is a uh, very essential point when it comes to business growth. So I'm done speaking for now. Favor, back to you there.
Thank you, Amen. No, I appreciate that. It's really how you show up online that gives people the reason to connect with you. And that's what mostly people don't really see. Like, businesses want to start online, they want to grow on social media, but they totally forget that there's something called first party data, second party data, third party data, and we also talked about zero party data. So all these data pieces are all contributing to the business success, the business architects. Like, what is the story? What is it? What are we telling? And how are we telling this story? So, when you connect with people, connect with stories, connect with the people that you actually want to see online, then it makes sense to be on platforms like this. Because sometimes we're like, we think marketing is hard, but it's really easy. Why is it easy? Because people remember who they want to connect with when they need help. If you need to go get your tooth checked, you're going to go to a doctor. If you need to get your taxes checked, you need to go to an accountant, a CPA. If you need a design for this, you know where to go to. If you want to get your nails done, you know where to go to. So who to go to is the problem or the question or the whole thing. Now, how you decide how you become the person they come to is how you show up online. And how you show up online is with your address, not your actual address, but your address when it comes to your website address. Because you have a domain, and right after your domain is a forward slash. That forward slash has text in there. And if that text is not contextual to your business or connected to your story, connected to how you connect with people, then that's going to give you a problem later on, because you need to show up and give people the example that, hey, if this is what you're looking for, this is what we have. And how they'll know you have it is because it's in your title. If you have a product, a business, if you have even if you're selling a t-shirt online, that t-shirt has to say what it is on the print. It has to also have the color. It also has to have the fabric. It has to have the meaning, and then it has to have the primary keyword. right? That's why when you think about all these girl boss, all these words that you're hearing, the reason why they're popular is not because they were random. It's because something happened in the system that people started using it so much that it became something that everybody wanted to connect with. So when you start thinking about the business and the on-page SEO and the structuring, it helps. Internal linking is another one too, right? When you think about internal linking, you're connecting related pages within your site to improve navigation and spread link equity. You're going to see that in the article that I'm about to share with you guys right now. And I'm actually publishing it now so that you guys can see. It's fresh. So what you guys are about to see is first hand information from here. So I'm about to put the link up so that you guys can see this. I did this article before this room, and I said I'm going to come here and talk about it. Boom. So SEO Quadrant, Mastering Four Pillars SEO. This is the article that just dropped. If you click the link, you're going to see everything. That's a quadrant. So before I go any further, I want to say hi to you, Maxabelli. We had a very interesting way to meet up. It's just amazing that we got to connect that way. But I'm so
Hello, hi
hello.
everybody.
Introduce yourself. Let them know who you are.
I'm Max Savelli. I do music. I also own my own business, Max Nails. I do hair, makeup, and nails. So I'm just listening to everything. I did come in a little late, so I'm playing catch up. But yeah, you got some good stuff going on.
Thank you. Thank you. I
Thanks.
appreciate you. This is exciting. Tell us about your, especially for your business. When you think about like hair, nails, how do people connect with you? How do people find you? What do they tell you that they saw just on first hand basis?
Social media plays a big role. I'm my own model, so a lot of the things people like come up to me if I'm out or something and ask me like, who did this and who did that. So, it's my pride to say that I've done it. So that's more like a word to mouth marketing. But other than that, I'm on Google, I'm on a lot of social media platforms. I do music. That's the first thing people know me from, so connecting, they're already connecting with my music. So, that's how I just offer up the other things that I do.
I love that. I love that. Social media plays a big role in discovery, because
Hmm.
when you're establishing yourself online, people have to remember your name to even find you online, you know.
Definitely.
Yeah. That's what's up. Thanks for being here. First time in the room. So I'm glad to many more as well.
Okay. Definitely. Thank you for inviting me, sending me the link.
Anytime, anytime. You're always welcome.
Thank you.
Anytime. So guys, we've covered on-page SEO. I want to cover off-page SEO. And this is the link above. So this link you see, if you click it above, that will take you to the article. You can read it. It's very quick. I made this article a very quick read. I think it's about a 2-minute read. Yeah, and I published it 2 minutes ago. So if you see the link above, if you sign up to the email, you get email. We don't spam your email. We send you quality emails, like emails that really help make you think, make you process, make you plan. Yeah, our emails have been really going up. So we're just grateful for the connections we're making with people across the world because our podcast is in 113 countries. So it's hard to track or tell who's where, but we know that when we connect with you and we know you're already there, we know that we're intentionally serving because we're consistently, aware that you're there. So thank you so much for being with us here. So the four types are on page, off page, technical, and content SEO. So when you look at the off page SEO, you think about what I said in the beginning of this room. Would you rather go to a restaurant that had a review, a 5-star review yesterday, or would you rather go to a restaurant that had a 5-star review 3 years ago, right? And that was their latest review. You're not technically going to go to the one that was 3 years ago because you need to get something recent. Management may have changed, food may have changed, supply may have changed, things may have changed, pandemic, like everything would have changed. So when you think about the structure of your business, online, you also have to think about having reviews, right? Backlinks are great for reviews. Social media engagement, like Machiavelli was talking about, is great for off-page SEO because you're leveraging social platforms to share content and attract more visitors. That's the goal. You're sharing content. You're not just telling content or speaking content, you're sharing it. Because if I share something with you, if I share a secret with you, if I share a business tip with you, if I share a gem with you, if I share my plate with you, right? I'm just giving you different levels of sharing, right? You will appreciate that share because if it wasn't for me sharing it, you would not know. So if you're connecting with people that you don't know, that you would like to know, then you're going to tell them what they already know by putting it in context to your SEO. What does that mean? It means, oh yeah, Miss Andrea, you have a call. Thank you so much. Appreciate you so much. Would like to say something before you
Problem.
go?
No, just it's a wonderful room. Is there another one tomorrow?
Yeah, definitely.
You do. Okay. All right, no problem. I'll catch everyone tomorrow. And hello to everybody that I couldn't greet because I had a call as well. I'm just jumping actually on a prayer call. That's where I'm going. So with the church, with my church. But apart from that, peace, love, and blessings, everybody. You're in great hands, and favor is very, very, very just patient. And it's good to have somebody in the community that's willing to teach you, give all this information. And mind you, this is free. So just be grateful that you are in a room that where someone is willing to give information because people don't do this. So be blessed and have a great evening, afternoon, morning, wherever you are in the world.
Thank you, Andrea. Appreciate you so much and looking forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Thank you. Appreciate you. Yes, guys. So we have, you know, off-page SEO that is focusing on building your reputation, your business's reputation through external means. And why it's external is because you're focusing on second party and third party data. So if we look at on-page SEO, that's first-party data. In other words, you're optimizing pages for your website to generate traffic for your own business. Then off-page SEO is second-party data and third-party data where you have to depend on social. I don't, depend is a big word. You would have even rely is a big word, but you'd have to connect or reflect. Yeah, let me use that. Connect or reflect your business on a social platform outside your own existence, your own ecosystem, which is why you go to TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, you can go anywhere, right? When you go to these platforms, you're sharing your content to attract people to you. You're not just posting content because you want to post. You're posting because you want whoever sees it to respond back in the comments, to send you a DM, to follow you, to respond to the call to action, to do something specifically, right? So when you're leveraging social media platforms, you're thinking about, okay, if I have 100 likes on this post, can I get 10 signups to my email list? Like, did these 5 posts generate 5 signups or 5 sales or 5 something a week? Like that's how you want to translate your SEO, not just for posting sake, but if you have a post, think about what it's doing. Look at TMZ, look at Bloomberg, look at let's say let's look at the Shade Room, look at CNN. I'm giving you guys like crazy extremes, right? To tell you the same thing they're doing all across the board. The same thing they're all doing together. The one thing that makes all of them consistent, constant, and relevant in today's society is because when they post on social media, they post on their website first. So when you hear the news, breaking news, that breaking news was broken first on their website before it was broken on Instagram. Because when you see it on Instagram, they're going to send you to their website. So you have to think about the business and you have to think about your connections, right? And those connections have to give you value, and that value has to produce connections, right? And those connections are built on trust. So when you now connect with people, those people you're connecting with are now getting to connect back with you because you actually have influence, right? So that influence outreach is because you're leveraging on somebody's social media to gain trust. So if I like Amen's content and everyone follows Amen, everyone's going to follow Amen because I said that, because you guys trust me. If Amen says, hey, follow Machiavelli or follow Edward, you're going to listen to what they say. You're going to listen to what she says too, or even what Edward says, because you've heard him before, you've heard her before, and you're following. It's like, it's natural. We talked about naturality, right? It's natural. You don't have to say, are you sure? You've already like passed, are you sure question. You've passed that stage. So you're at the stage now of taking action. So that action you're taking is a reactive action or a responsive action because you took time to listen. So when you think about connecting with people offline, off-page SEO, it's second page, third page, fourth page, fifth page on the websites. All those pages are referring back to your page. And if you have reviews on BBB, if you have it on Trustpilot, if you look at this link I put here, you will see our Trustpilot reviews. You will see our business reviews. So you can even see what we've done in the course of the years. So you can actually connect and see what other people have said, because that builds trust. If somebody sees what I've worked with somebody in the past, let's say my last review, like on my, if you look at my own, let me look at it right now. The last review we had was, okay, so let me sort it out by most recent. Yeah, the last review we had, today is August 8th. The last review we had was July 29th. Then the whole of July was flooded with, you'll see it there. So when August just started, right? And before the end of August, that will happen. So if you think about your business, you have to think about having reviews within a 3-month cycle. Even if you don't get a lot of reviews, at least let your latest review be at least a month to 3 months old. 3 months is really like calling, like it's like thin ice. But if you keep it between 1 to 2 months, 1 to 1.5 months, you're in the safe zone, because at least it shows that you have consistency. If it's a week, if it's 2 days, even better. Like the faster, the better. So you want to think about it like that with off-page SEO. Now, the third one is technical SEO. I won't go too deep into that because that's very technical, but I'll give you the high-level overview. Technical SEO makes you understand things to do with speed, right? They say like lightning moves at the speed of light. If I can say it like that, it sounds so crazy. But the speed of light, because you can't compare lightning with any other thing because it's as fast as it is, right? So when you compare your website and it's like, as soon as that happens, you are seeing your website on the page. That is a huge boost for Google. That's a huge boost for Microsoft. It's a huge boost for answer engines, right? Because those engines are looking for cars that are working. Are you going to work with a car that's stuck on the road, or are you going to work with a car that's moving, or are you going to work with a car that's towed? You're going to work with a car that's driving because you want to drive along. You don't want to be stuck through or stuck along. You want to go through those points. So when you think about technical SEO, your website has to have site speed. It has to be mobile friendly. It has to have XML site mapping. What does that mean? Expandable markup language. That's what XML stands for. And it means you want to improve indexing by adding those URLs we talked about in the first point with on-page SEO. So when somebody improves indexing, it means that they're improving context. So the more pages I'm producing, the more context I'm giving you, the better it is. If you go to CNN or go to any other platform, you will see that when you see their Instagram posts giving you headline news, they'll tell you, go read the link and go to our link in bio to read the rest. So when you click on that image, it will take you to their website because they have to get first party data. So they're leveraging second party data, Instagram, with first party data at their website. So when you sign up to their website, now you have their attention and now they have your attention. Now, even though you don't come to Instagram for another year, because they've turned from second party to first party, now it can even become zero party, because now you can come to the event, I can see you in person, we can connect, and that's how we can grow, right? So those are some things that you have to also look at, as a business when you're looking at it forward. And then structured data is very important. That's why your name is very important online. If you know you're going to use your brand name, your business name, your pseudonym, or whatever name you have, right? Those names are going to be accelerated over time. What's up, Nick and Richard? Thanks for being here. When you have that structured data, you're implementing something called schema markup. Schema markup is another way of saying like adding rich text. Like think about like if you're let's say because I love to cook, right? So let's say you're making scrambled eggs or an omelet or making French toast. However you want to make your eggs, boiled eggs, fried eggs, however you want to do it, right? I'm just giving you a basic example so that it cuts across the room. I don't want to give a complicated meal. So when you think about those different types of ways to make egg or try to make all those things, right? It's structured data because if you want to make broiled eggs, if you want to make boiled eggs, if you want to make fried eggs, if you want to make scrambled eggs, there's a formula for that, right? It's the same egg, it's the same crack, it's the same whisk, it's the same everything. Now, where your egg would taste differently from my egg is the spices you put on that egg, right? When you're whisking it, the amount of salt you put, the amount of pepper, if you put some other, seasoning to it, that's going to be based on how you like to cook. Some people don't even like to cook with seasoning, right? Everyone cooks differently, right? So I'm giving you like a very open-ended example. So when you think about implementing schema markup to enhance search results and features, the icing on the cake, the gravy, the sauce, the barbecue, the chipotle, the all the spicy stuff you want to put on your website, on your page, where that comes in is from the author. So if you're the author of that page, then your name is going to be on that article, right? If you're the author of that page, it means you have credibility, right? So those credibility statements that you say online allows you to become an authority online. If you have a podcast, even better, because people can actually listen to you instead of reading you. Instead of them reading you, they're listening to you. So there's a way that people can connect with you when you have structured data. You have reviews, you have FAQs, you have you have table of contents if you want to go there. Sometimes you don't, sometimes you do. If you do all the time, even better. Like the more structured it is, the better. Like if you have a house and the house needs 8 pillars and you have 4 more pillars, that's, I mean, it's extra, but you can still use it for something, right? You can make an extra little section on the side. So it depends on how you want to put it out there. So you have to make sure that that quadrant is strong, because if you have a strong site with strong content and you have strong links that produce strong traffic, then you're going to get strong leads that are going to lead to strong sales. And every day, that's what you're going to be hearing, because you have stationed your business and you've positioned your content for success. It takes a while to get there, but the moment you receive and get that information and know first landing, boom, this is what people are searching for, write about it. Don't just say, oh, yeah, we talk about this one thing. Go to the pros, the cons, the features, the alternatives, comparisons, competitive advantages, history, whatever you have to talk about that has to quantify and qualify you as a top person that knows about these things will help. You know what I'm saying? I love a money sound. I'm going to do it again, Max Savelli. you know and that's also the honeybook. I use honeybook for our business. So the honeybook, that's the when a client pays, that's the sound that comes on the notification. It's crazy. So you hear that cha-ching not every time, but when you hear it, yeah, you're going to hear it over at least 100 times in a year if you can make it there. So it's possible. It's very, 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 very possible. Why? Because people are looking for fresh information and not everyone is producing fresh information, right? Out of all the bananas you see, that one banana might be the one you like because the other ones are not looking pleasant to you. So why did you pick that banana and not the other one? Because that, in your eyes, that was fresh to you. It may not be fresh to someone else. Fresh might be the other one, because the other one may not look as fresh as the one you have. But if everyone knows that that's a shiny one, then everyone's going to go for that thing, right? So the idea for you to not just have a website is not just to have a page, because people say, "Oh, I have a funnel." Yeah, but that is not a website. It's a funnel. Like when you look at a funnel, it has a top and a bottom. That's it. There's in, out, in, out. Like there's no structure. Now, if you have a funnel and that funnel is connected to a container, and that container is connected through a pipe, and that pipe is connected to an engine, and that engine is connected to a car, now we're talking about a body. Now we're talking about structure. Now we're talking about you know how do I put, I'm looking for a good word to use. That's how you find connections, right? Hey, Mark, welcome to the room. I love the profile too. When you connect with people and you structure data, you're going to structure data so that people can find you consistently. Whether it's a recipe, I gave you guys eggs for an example. There's recipes, there's locations, there's restaurants, there's hotels, there's airports. There are all these kind of things, right? So you put these things together, and that's technical SEO. Now, the fourth one is content SEO. This is like something I put together, and because the first three are standard, the fourth one I said, hey, let me add a little bit of sauce in here, because if you look at, and why it's relevant is if you look at the fourth one and you see read more in this article, there's another article I talked about keyword research roadmap, because you want to learn how to create research or conduct research so that your SEO is not all over the place, right? So there are four things you have to think about with SEO content wise. There's search intent, there's quality content, there's visuals, and there's regular updates. The regular updates is the one a lot of people kind of miss, because when you have content, if your content is 3 years old, is your content still valuable today?
Can I ask you to repeat that? I'm so sorry. I be forgetting that this is on mute. Can you repeat that again so I can write it?
Which part?
Oh,
So I can say it again.
the list.
Okay. So the list is the four things that you want to connect with and have consistently for content SEO is search intent, quality content, visuals, and regular updates. That fourth one is big, because if you don't do that fourth one regularly, then everything else is just going to fall in the, it's just going to be in the abyss, because there's new content every day. So how do you stay relevant? By regularly updating your content. And this is what I would say: if somebody has a website and they're using social media to use as leverage, I would take my top, let's say we're in August, I would take my top 10, second party data information that I receive from Instagram or TikTok, saying, hey, here are your top 10 posts. If you posted a lot in that month, here are your top 10 posts in July. I would take those top 10 posts from Instagram, second party data, and I would create an article on my website that to send them back, right? And when you send them back to your website, right, you're sending them back to your website because you're giving Instagram more time, more watch time. Every page you give, every post you make on Instagram, if you look at the number of posts, that's the amount of real estate you've given Instagram.com. If you don't have the same number or exact value close to your website with that same number, then we need to fix that, because you're giving Instagram is getting leverage because it's free, right? You're posting for free, you're getting information for free, but what they're not telling you is that they're getting data for free, and you're not getting that data. You're probably getting it secondhand because it's second party data you're receiving. But if somebody subscribes to your podcast, if someone subscribes to your Apple podcast, your Spotify podcast, Apple has that person's email. LinkedIn has that person's email when you send a newsletter. YouTube has that person's YouTube email that they signed in with. You only have the username. So if you're not connecting them first on your website and then sending them to through other websites like we talked about yesterday, Reddit and Quora, if you're not sending them to those places, then they won't be able to find you. Welcome, Anisha. So that pillar has to be strong. It has to be heavy, because when they search intent, there's a reflection. If I'm searching for something, my intention is to find something. I'm not just going to be searching blindly or searching aimlessly. So that search requires something to find. And when that is found, then it turns into something that I can click on. Then when I can click on it, then I can save on it. So when you look at these four categories and you think about how to structure your content online, then you're going to keep your content fresh. You're going to keep it relevant. You can still send people emails. You send them to your website. Like this link you just see here at the top, this came out in the middle of the room. So when I send it out as an email, People will receive the email, they'll read it. It's a 2-minute read. So I know that people don't have all day to read, right? But I know that whatever they're able to connect with, they can find it. So these are the things that we get to do and consistently build. So these are some things that you have to look at. And at the very bottom of this, article, you'll see a page where you can fill in your information if you have any questions. So these are the 4 pillars that I wanted to talk about today, because once you know these 4 pillars, the on-page SEO, the off-page SEO, the technical SEO, and the content SEO, then you have your 4 walls to work with. Within those 4 walls, you can build your house, you can build a room, you can build a closet, you can build a kitchen, because you have the space. But you can't have the space if you don't create the space. And what space are you creating? Your domain. Your domain is your property. Your property is an asset. Your asset has value. And what increases your value over time is the investment you spend on that platform, on that property, by adding links, images, videos, podcasts. These things I'm doing them here right now because I know it's going to benefit somebody tomorrow. I'm not just posting because I want to post. I'm not just showing on this platform because I want to. It's because I know someone's going to listen to this, they'll apply it. I got an email this morning, 5 a.m. this morning, from someone who listened to the episode on Reddit and Quora yesterday. And now I'm about to, test out his AI tool for podcasting. And if I really like the tool and if it's really making sense, I'll bring it over here. And then I'll bring him here to the show. That's connections. I didn't pay for that. He's emailed me. I said, hey, if you want to talk to me, here's my email. And I said that in the podcast. I have that explicitly on the show. So when somebody wants to email me, I'm not surprised. So it's like I'm opening a conversation, because podcast is one way. So how do you turn a one-way podcast show to a two-way conversation? You have to set out first. You have to be intentional. You have to say, hey, I want to talk to you. If I don't tap you or say hi or talk to you, then now you wouldn't even know I want to talk to you because I didn't signal that. The whole point of signal is so that you can respond to the signal, not to just look at the signal. So I will stop at that and pass it to you, Christy. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for joining.
Thank you so much for having me, Favor. You're amazing. You're so generous, and I just can't wait to work with you. I actually got hit up today by somebody named Austin. Tonight, Jurg's coming on my room from 8 to 9 Eastern Standard Time. If anybody can join to have a heated discussion about politics, that's my plug. But more importantly, why I'm reaching out is that somebody by the name of Austin, my son's name's Austin, told me that he could track down money, just money that the government has, just hanging out with themselves. They don't use it. But when my dad died without a will or an estate plan, I had to try to find where his money was, because he had saved his money and squirreled it away his whole life. And I had to break through his safe because he died in a motorcycle accident. So now this guy is actually helping me find money that my mom can now have, that she had no idea was in the world, that he said is over $100 and anybody can do it. So I'm always about sharing information, and I'm just thankful to be here. And with that, I yield my mic. Thank you, Favor.
Thank you so much, Christy. I appreciate that. Yeah, Austin is an amazing guy. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. He was here earlier. I don't know. He probably left the room. He probably had something to do, but he's always here. He's always amazing. Great guy. Connected with him, and yeah, he'll definitely listen to replay, connect with you if anything. And just stay in touch. There's so much, so much that we can gain from here, and just be connected to, and just learn from each other, because sometimes when we learn these things, we learn along the way, and then someday we're going to use it for something. So that's why I like to give my all, make sure that you can get it all, so you can get it in, and then from there we can win together. That's how it goes. We got to keep it flowing like that. So thank you so much, Christy, for that too. Appreciate you. Mark, I want to hear from you. I haven't heard from you in a long time. It's like Clubhouse is just like, it's like OGs are just coming back to the app. So we'd love to hear from you, Mark. Any thoughts for today's conversation?
No, good content as always, Favor. Yeah, it's been a little crazy in our company the last couple of weeks. It's been busy, which is a great thing. Uh, we've been struggling with a website that we um, the client's existing website was on Squarespace, and there were 500 blog posts that we had to export out, and Squarespace does not make that easy. So we've been struggling with that. Renee, my partner's mom, passed a couple of weeks ago, so it's been a little hectic in the company. But other than that, like, things are going good. I'm about to take off a weekend, which I haven't had in a while. Go to Florida and celebrate my mom's 90th birthday. So that's a good thing. So yeah, that is it. And yes, my chatter background color on my new profile pic. So that is the reason for that. Hope you're doing well, sir.
I'm doing well. Thank you so much, Mark. Wow, 90. That's a big one. Happy birthday to Mama.
Happy
Oh wow.
birthday. And I want to get married, Mark, so maybe you can help me with that.
Me too.
Mark, you got a wait list now.
Well, once you have it in the, once you got to have the groom first before I can
I
really
have
help
one.
you. But
I
all
can
right, so
find one.
all right, so I produced wedding expos for many, many years. It's a very small industry, like 100 people on the planet who do that. That business, I was ready to get away from it anyway, and then COVID helped expedite that process. But the I still have a lot of connections all over the country. So if you're in a particular market, I could probably point you to someone who can hook you up with all the best wedding pros.
You see, you never know what you find in these
Thank
rooms.
you.
Sent you a message, Mark. Thank you.
This is good. This is really good. Yep. I love these rooms. You know, you come in here, you learn something new, you leave. You came in with an expectation, you leave with better. Doesn't that feel good? Like you come in with something, you're like, oh man, I didn't know I was gonna get this and that. Yeah, it's like candy. So I'm glad that we did make that connection. So everybody, yeah, stay connected so we can stay together and keep building. We're gonna be here for some time. Oh man, Austin jumped in the room. Austin, yeah. I don't know if you heard everything, but yeah, Christy's amazing, and I was reaching out to you. I was like, Austin, come in the room. Where'd you go? And Christy, he's talking about you. Come through. And I was like, did he just leave? So I'm glad you're here. But I wanted to pass it to you, Austin, so you can respond to Christy. And then we're going to come to you, Hussein and Makita. Makita, I hope I said it correctly.
Hey, Favor. Hey, everyone. Good afternoon from Seattle. Yeah, I didn't hear all of Christy's share, but we just got off a phone call maybe about an hour ago and had a great consultation. And she told me a little bit about her life story. So, yeah, just thought I'd come on in and support the room and see what's up.
Appreciate you. Yeah, we definitely have to do a room, Austin. We need to do one this year. Somehow it got to be a workshop, a masterclass, something on Clubhouse Chatter somewhere. We'll figure it out. We'll definitely plan something for sure. And yeah, I already see this room is popping. Mark came in with the fireworks, and then Hussein came in with the pew 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 pew, and then Maxwell is like, okay. So I'm gonna pass it to you, Hussein, so you can introduce yourself, and then you can address Maxwell if you'd like to.
Sure. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Hassan Thompson here. I am the founder and operator of the Educators House here on Clubhouse. We'll be moving over to some other spaces soon, but we run professional development conferences for educators, for parents of school aged children, and for community members who are concerned about the state of education today, covering all sorts of topics. We're going to be doing Project 2025 this semester. We're going to be doing the presidential platforms on education, all the way down to violence and tablets and technology in the classroom. So we cover the whole gamut of topics, and all of you guys are certainly welcome to join me over there at the Educators House. Yeah, so I'm just excited to be here. I heard Max said she might be looking for a husband, so I said, let me come on up here, let her know I'm around. Because I'm looking for you too, girl. No, I'm just joking. I don't mean to throw you off, Favor. I am interested though. I'm gonna hit you in your back channel, sir, because someone approached me about building an app. And I thought you were the first person I thought about. I don't know if you're into that space, but I'm sure that you might be able to point me in the right direction. So I'll let you know some of the details in the back channel, sir.
Oh, thank you, man. Appreciate you for that, Hussein. Yes, I do App Store optimization. I've handled about about 4 apps, and they are really strong. One for church, another one for fintech, another one for social media, and then I think another one I'm in a beta program. And then I'm also like even Honeybook, the platform I use, I'm in their beta app program. So I'm really like, yeah, into the tech. And then I have a team as well. So we deal with Figma, we deal with, building web pages from scratch, accelerated mobile pages. We build apps. Yeah, we build the whole nine. So whatever we need, we can do the research, the SEO, make it pop, and then do that for sure. So thank you so much for what you do as well for the community. That's a huge thing. We need safer schools, safer places, so that we don't have to be worried about what's happening in the world, when we can all be in the same world and connect at a large scale. So thank you so much for that, Hussein. Christy, you have a question for Hussein?
Yes, I do, Hassan. Tonight we're going to be in a board meeting from 10 p.m. till 12 midnight. Catherine from Morning Possibility with a Cup of Bible is with Coach Les for the last 3.5 years since COVID happened. Every morning at 6:30 a.m., the 67-year-old man gets up to do church so people from across the world can pray. People that are actually getting killed for praying. We opened up the room 24 hours, so we think that anybody should be allowed to pray in our room. And even see Tanzanites coming on board. And so is Pastor Jeff Dodge from Eagle Brook Megachurch. Tens of thousands of people, many, many churches across the United States. We're trying to support Even See Tanzanite in Kenya, East Africa. He was born in an orphanage. He doesn't have a mother and a father, but his ministry is to support more orphanages. He's got so many children. I have pictures of hundreds and thousands of children that he and Catherine in the education system have helped to have food in their belly, to have water, and to have a home. So for tonight, we're talking about how we can get him over here into the United States for 1 month. He has to go to the embassy, and we're figuring out a GoFundMe page. We were talking yesterday about bamboo and how maybe, how you teach somebody how to fish, then they can feed their family. Somebody offered for like 27 cents to work with us to be able to get bamboo there so they can plant, so that they can build more orphanages. But tonight, it's a public website. It's a public Zoom call. It's Morning Possibility with a Cup of Bible. The board meeting is live every Thursday, 10 p.m. to 12 midnight, and it's ordered to help United States. And I really, really, really want to help outside of United States too, but I want to focus on the United States and the education system, and so does Catherine. My boyfriend, who I want to marry, who I think I'll be engaged to very shortly. Just saying that everybody knows that I want that. Been with him for 5 years. If that doesn't happen in the next year, then I'll be with somebody else. He knows this publicly, because I love him and I want to be with him, but I need to be married. So there you go. So if that doesn't happen, I'll be with somebody else and I'll be single too. And I don't want to be, because I'm 50 years old and I'm ready to settle down and really do some good work in the world. So if anybody's willing to come to Morning Possibility with a Cup of Bible, Coach Les would bring anybody into that room every morning. And then tonight, if you're interested, please reach out to me. My cell phone number is everywhere. You can find me on LinkedIn. I'm sure Favor has it too. Everybody does. And I'm just getting the word out there so we can help more people from across the world pray and help children. So if you're interested, please reach out to me or come to the board meeting tonight and I'll tell you how you can get involved. Thank you, and I yield my
Yeah, I
mic.
see your phone number in your profile, so I should be available. I'm on Pacific time. What time zone are you talking about?
I'm Eastern Standard Time, so it's 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and he's Central
Oh, that's
Central
even better
Standard
for
Time.
me.
So please join us if you
Okay.
can.
Yeah, I don't want to derail Favor's room, but I'll definitely use your text or just show up to the room. That sounds fantastic.
Amazing. This is what I love about Clubhouse. We all connect. We meet here. We don't know what's going to happen, and boom, a lot has happened in just a couple hours, just in this room alone. So I'm glad. And this is the quadrant. So I'm actually excited that this is an actual quadrant. People are connecting from talking to each other across the room, and it's beautiful. So it's actually making sense to have these conversations in between time. So, and it's all contextual to the room. So thank you so much for being here. Makeda, please let me know how to say it correctly. Thank you for joining and being here. Would you, introduce yourself, let us know who you are, and also if you have a question, contribution, please let us know. The floor is yours.
Hello, it's Makita, and thank you so much for welcoming me up. Um, so, I am a coach, consultant, and digital agency owner, and I help small business owners. I've helped some larger companies as well to set up and automate their online systems, basically to help them establish an online presence that they can be proud of so they can free up more time and make it easier to connect and sell to their customers with ease. So, one of the questions that I did have, because I do see that it's an SEO room, is in regards to building SEO. And I know I don't expect a lot of detail. It's just, I'm just kind of doing like a little check in. But I'm sorry, I've worked with SEO for my website, and I've sold, um, products and everything and use SEO to connect with my audience. Uh, Online. However, I'm looking at now doing that in a local area, and I was just wondering if it's possible. I'm trying it, but I'm wondering if it's possible to use the same website. I'm using WordPress, but to use the same website to do both local and international or national SEO. Well, online and local. Is that logical? Is it possible?
Yes, it is possible. I actually want to ask you a question because I want to do some deep search just to kind of see what's going on. So, based on like today's topic, what would you say is the major need for your business? Because you really apply some SEO, which is good, but SEO is always changing. So, what are you in need of right now, SEO wise, that would help your business move to that next level that you see within these next 2 quarters that we have?
Well, what I'm doing, because I have worked online primarily, and when I blog on my website using WordPress, it's just real general. And what I mean general is like not to any local area. So of course it uses SEO, but I figure that because we move around a lot and I want to help some of the local businesses. And so I figured a great way to do that, it would be to create I have a main page that I'm using. I haven't published it yet, but I was building it out so that when I begin releasing blog posts, they're all in alignment with that one page instead of it all going to the main website. Now, I'm new at doing it this way, but I'm basically using it like I would do categories or tags and topics, and then structuring the site, that portion of the site, to only target small businesses. The area that I'm in, small businesses are failing because they're not getting a lot of traffic in the door. And so I'm trying to let them know how important digital marketing is. But when I go talk to them, they're not quite educated on it yet. They don't believe in digital marketing. So I'm wanting to use the same tactics that I use online, which in general, I do content marketing to first educate my audience and, have them become aware of how it can help them. Then by the time they get to me, they've already been convinced that I don't have to really sell. They're just trying to see if they want to work with me. So I'm just trying to build that out, but in a local way. And I wasn't sure if that's something that's realistically possible to do both at the same time, or if I'm just, seeing it and it's really fetched. So that's why I was asking.
I love
Did that
that
answer your
question.
question? I'm sorry.
No, yeah, that was a total picture that I really appreciate you for actually saying, because I get the picture that you're putting out, and that's actually a problem a lot of businesses have today, is visibility, engagement, and possibilities to actually be found. Because one of the things I've seen that cuts across the board is, if you're a local business, it's even easier for you to make sales than it is to just have an online store. But that's also subjective, because people who are 100% online are still doing very well. So it just falls in line with where you are located, where you're also connecting with people. And then we have a special way of working with our clients where we go all the way down to your zip code. Because when you make a purchase, that purchase is coming from a zip code, either your bank's zip code, or your actual address with the zip code, your commercial address where you do business, that's a zip code. Whatever zip code that is, we will be able to understand the nature, the attributes, the style, who lives there, what really happens there, right? And then using that information, we can now break down to know, okay, if people are living in these, if these are the top 10 zip codes in the city, which city has the most number of people? This one. Okay, we go into this city and then see what do people like in this city. Then we, from that city, we can now look at, okay, is there CVS? Is there Walgreens? Is there Whole Foods? Is there Target? Is there Walmart? Is there Trader Joe's? Is there a mall nearby? Is there a park next door? All those things we start to look at, because when somebody decides to live somewhere, they like where they live, or they love where they live because they want to be, they want to live the lifestyle that they see. Sometimes it's not 100%. Sometimes they have to just be there for some time and then they go. But if they want to be there and they've been there for years, if they've had a home, they've had a family and everything, that's where they stay. Then we go a little deeper. How far do they drive to work? Is it 10 minutes? Is it 30 minutes? Okay, let's do a podcast for 5 minutes so that we can let them listen to it twice over, or let's do a 10-minute episode. That's how we can break it down to that point, because a lot of small businesses are trying to spend a lot of money on influencer marketing, paid marketing, instead of focusing on protecting their property. That's the first problem. They're not protecting first. They're spending first. And the more you spend, the less you get if you don't know what you're spending on, and you don't know where you're investing. So I'll pass it back to you, Makina.
No, I was just gonna say I agree 100% because what I'm seeing is that we are new to the local area. We move around a lot, but we're new to the local area. And the small businesses that I have connected with, they've spent a lot of money on trying to do paid advertising versus doing any type of content marketing at all. And when I go and I talk to them, they don't really believe in it yet because all they know of digital marketing is paid advertising. So I was just thinking that the best way for me to help in my current area would be to optimize a local portion of my site with SEO. That way, when they begin to look up things, or even when I reach out to them, they can do their research through my website and the content that I'm building. But my concern was, I didn't want to have to build another Facebook, another Instagram. I was just going to utilize my website. And because I'm just new to this style of SEO, I just was confused about if it's even really logical to try to do both things. But I hear you saying it is. I just need to be pretty much strategic with it. So, okay.
Yeah, you're totally spot on with that. You don't need multiple social media pages because you'll be creating multiple second party pages. And instead of focusing on one first party page, which is your website. So when you create anything on social, reproduce it or retarget it or bring it back to your website, so that when you send an email to your community, when you're building your list, they get first-hand information. Because if there's first party data, there's first-hand data, there's first-hand information, there's first, like, who's hearing it first. That first is important. Who's breaking the news? When something happens on the news and it's breaking news, who breaks it first? That person who breaks it first is going to be trusted because there's credibility there. And that's where people go to. Then from there, they start to find the other people talking about it a minute later, 5 minutes later, an hour later, a day later, right? But whoever broke that news first is the authority holder. So if you're in that space and you want to focus on that niche, then your articles, your topics should be focused within those locations, because people's locations are turned on by default unless they've turned them off. But when someone is searching on Google, on Bing, on YouTube, on Pinterest, they have their location turned on. So if you geotag your pictures, if you use your URLs, the file names, everything is concentrated on that place, then there's no way that you won't be able to get that access. It's all strategy, and it's beyond, just talking about it. We actually have to do it to see the results, and then measure the results based on the traffic and the campaigns, and of course the total available market that you have within that market share. So it's a lot of metrics to look at, but those are some of the things that we look through. And I'll take it further with you if it's possible. If you click the link above and you click on the purple option, that will give you a chance to get on a 15-minute call with me. And if you need that extra support, that help, my team can also get on board with you, and we can connect with your team. We can build it from a B2B perspective, and then help your business grow, and then help you save time, because AI is also one of the components we use now we don't even like it's so new that it's a fresh connection for us that we actually turn over things that would take maybe a week and we turn that into 2 days, because we use AI heavily and we're able to really connect those dots so that SEO wise we can be training the models and also training it to sound like your voice, your brand, so that you don't have to repeat the same thing over and over again. So yeah, thank you for that question. That was really helpful. I know a lot of people definitely benefited from that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Renee's in the building. I see you. Thanks for joining. I know you may not be able to speak, but just wanted to send you flowers, love, and light, prayers, and God bless your family, and everything will be okay. We heard it, and I just wanted to just make sure that you're okay, and we're glad that you're here, and we thank God for everything, and we just wanted to share and give you your flowers. Yeah, I wish there was a flower emoji, but they took it off. But I really, really appreciate you for being here, Renee. And she's amazing. Please reach out to her, connect with her. She has amazing content and amazing connections too that you can, tap into. So I'm glad we had this room. And I'm glad we talked about this because this was a topic that I had on the plane. There's a time I was traveling and I just went through 30 pages of content. I was reading 30 pages. And out of those 30 pages, I came up with about 52 content pieces for 2024, 2025. Edward, why are you giving me that? Before I say anything else, why are you? Edward, you don't want to speak now? You want to be quiet? It's your birthday. Why are you quiet? He's probably
Oh, I think I mistakenly tapped that.
it's so funny. You're the second person that did this today because Amen did it too. But it's cool. I like that. It's great. I really appreciate it means that we're interacting. Like when you think about keyword searches and everything, even if somebody doesn't type the full search, they've searched for something. So they intentionally thought about it psychologically. They thought about something. It may not be exact, but it's similar. So yeah, it's good. It's really good to see that. So I was able to come up with all these concepts based on topics. So the topic you see up here was, I would say, it was born on the plane because I have a whole list of topics, and because my podcast is going to be 5 years next Monday. We're ranking top 3% globally. We're benching at 400 episodes. We're about to start season 9, and we have 150 episodes in the pipeline that have not been released yet, and it's powerful people, powerful episodes, and there's some that are coming that are very special too that we're going to have as well. So this podcast has definitely helped me because when I get on a call with someone for 15 minutes, that's 15 minutes of time that we have to make a decision because we time is money. So me spending time here for hours is me giving back because I know that someone can listen, learn. They don't have to work with us. They don't have to be, they don't even have to be in our space. As long as we're impacting them, we're loving on them, we're giving them information, they're taking it, they're actually using it. That's going to make me happy because you can work with us and we can do all the work for you, or you can empower yourself with the information we're telling you in these hours, and you can learn so much. People are learning everywhere. I remember on LinkedIn, I woke up one day, it was like 4 a.m. Somebody I think it was Nigeria. He's a marketing department head, and he sent me a LinkedIn message saying, "Hey, I didn't even know Pinterest was a great tool for business for marketing." It was one podcast episode I did, and he checked me out on LinkedIn and sent me a message, and we connected. Right, so I've learned that podcasting is like it's like me using a megaphone, and I'm making an announcement in the whole city, but I don't know who's listening that's going to respond back to me. That's how podcasting feels like. It's one to many, many to one. So if you can talk to as many people as you can and impact as many people as you can, the ones who want to talk back to you or work with you or connect with you will find a way to connect with you because they'll see you, they'll hear you, they'll connect with you from a physical standpoint, from a mental standpoint, from a geographical standpoint too. If you're within the same city or if they're coming to your city, that's how you build those connections. So the quadrant allows you to have a house that establishes you online, because when you start to have images, pictures, words, phrases, keys, and all these things that connect you back to the picture. The whole idea is not just to write content or post content. The idea is, can this piece of content last 24 months? That's the real question. And if the answer is no, you need to restructure that framework. If the answer is yes, then go all in, 10 toes deep, go in. Because when you do that, people will appreciate you spending that time online, because they'll be like, he doesn't have time to do any other thing but this. No, it's because we have 24 hours. And I know if I spend 10, 20% of those 24 hours a day, and it's impacting 80% of the people outside every other day, then I'm okay. That's the thought process I think through, because it helps me to impact more, like an ocean wave. Would you rather have an ocean wave or a little splash? So those are the things that you have to think about as a business. So when you have your SEO quadrant in order, your house is in order, anything you do offline, online has a responsive system on your website. So when somebody searches for you on Wikipedia, searches for you on Google, searches for you on YouTube, there's a place it's pointing back to, and it's pointing back to your website. So if you have 100 links on your website, 100 blogs on your website, 100 podcasts on your website, you have 100 URLs, 100 keys, 100, like think about your keys. Imagine 100 keys in your key holder. That's 100 doors you can open. So if you think about the number of links on your website and equate that to the number of keys you can open, the number of conversations you can start, the number of people you can drive through your website, then we start talking about that 1%, 3%, 5%, 10%. Those are the percentages that will make sense in the long run, because you're no longer just thinking about the 1% here and the 1% there. You're thinking about the bigger picture. So that's how you build business online with SEO. And the next time someone tells you SEO is Google, tell them SEO is not only Google. SEO is everywhere. It's everywhere now. It's no longer, oh, do my SEO. It doesn't mean do my Google. It means build my brand. If you have a name online, that name is your brand. If that's your business name, it's your business name on brand. You can't even have a business account if you don't have an EIN, your tax ID, you don't have a bank account, a business account to prove your, like, you can't even have a bank account for business if you don't even have those things. That's 101. I can't even teach you that, right? Because those are things as a business. If you're in business, you do that business, you'd have that business etiquette, and you'll be able to have that, opportunity. So that's where you connect with people and you grow, right? So these are things that you need to know, so that it's not like no one told you, or we didn't tell you. We've been saying it, but you probably just didn't know it, or you didn't know of it. Because SEO sounds like chatterbox. It sounds like, oh, this, that, this, that. But when you think about the full picture, you think about the bigger picture, right? It's like, oh, we're talking about this, we're talking about that. But guess what? It's what we do. I love Clubhouse. I love Chatter. I love Pinterest. I love Facebook. I love podcasts. We all love these platforms, right? So much so that we spend so much time. So if your time is not invested correctly and you're just spending it on social, and you look at your screen time every Sunday, because on Sundays is when you get your screen time analysis. Some people reset it. I get mine on Sunday. So I know, okay, Sunday, boom, this is what I'm looking at. How much hours did I spend here, here, here? And then you realize, did that 24 hours I spent last week translate into, or that's an answer you need to decide. And when you decide to connect the dots, you're going to connect people to your thoughts. And then when your thoughts start to resonate with the people get to realize the problem that you're solving. That's in communication, that's in visual aid, that's in messaging, and that's in formatting. When you have a good structure, you have a good system, you have a good house, no leaks, you're good, right? When it starts to get really cranky is when things start to crack up. So when you look at the things, the differences, how you connect with people online, It starts from the root. A lot of businesses have websites. A lot of podcast shows don't have websites. And they may not know why they don't need one, or they may not know the reason for one. But when you think about authority, anyone who is an authority out there has a website. You can name any company, any brand, any app, anybody, name anyone's right now. They must have a website attached to their business, to their name, to their brand, to their service, to their software. There has to be something attached online because that's your digital portfolio. You know, you have a checking account, you have a savings account, you have a dividends account, right? Some people have checkings and savings. Some people have checkings, savings, and dividends. Some people just have checkings. Some people just have savings. Some people just have dividends. So where do you fall within the pack, right? Are you all three? Are you all one? All for one? So you have to look at those pictures better and see where you connect. Speaking of connections, Sean, I want to come to you because I've always wanted to tell you this since you talked about it last time, and I was like, I don't know when I'm going to say it, and I'm going to say it now. We talked about Calendly, and that's what I use, and we love Calendly, right? But did you know that you could? This is a mind blowing thing. Did you know there's a website, there's an app that's on the come up? I mean, they've been there, I think, for maybe 2, 3 years now. I talked with one of the people that work at this company. He's in Denmark. I talked to him yesterday morning, Central Time in Houston. And the name of the website is called CAL.com. So that $15 you're paying on Calendly is free on Cal. It's crazy. Yeah. And what you pay for that $15 you pay
Yeah,
on, you've
somebody
heard of it?
mentioned it to me. I haven't checked it out, but yeah, if anybody's starting out and they want to go there and get it, that's cool. Or maybe it was Austin who mentioned it. I can't remember, but yeah, it was Austin actually. Yeah, uh, yeah, he mentioned it. I checked it out, and people are starting out, and the price point for Calendly's a problem, and it's doing the same thing, and it's free. I mean, why not?
It's a no-brainer. Austin, how did you know about it?
I can't really recall. It happens to be an open source thing, which is part of the reason why it's free. They have a self hosted as well as the cloud version that's free. And but I don't remember finding it in some crazy deep dark web open source project online. I just came across it, and when I realized that it has the same free features that Calendly has for their premium paid features, that's what really got my interest in it.
Exactly. Me too. How I even got to know about it is on LinkedIn, somebody requested to work with us for SEO services. So I looked at the contact and it said Berlin, Germany. I was like, okay, all right, let's because we work internationally. So I said, okay,
Wait,
let me
so
tap in.
was that Mika, or who did you meet? Because that's you just reminded my memory. That's exactly how I found out about it too. I met
Wow.
with the startup founder who sent me their cal.com link, and it happened to be
Yes.
someone from Germany.
Right, right. It might be the same person. I don't know because she talked about platform is called Content Radar AI, and it's an AI tool that allows you to like automatically post to LinkedIn. Like it's really really cool. So she gave me access to it, and I said, "Hey, you guys, how's your SEO looking?" She's like, "Oh, we need to do that." Same thing with Cal. So when I got on her calendar, I was like, "This is interesting." So I now went to Root and I found cal.com, and then I said, let me book a call. So when I booked a call, I now met with the developer. His name is Pierre, and he's in Denmark. And I said, hey, what's all this about? Like, talk to me about it. And we talked at length. And now, potentially, we're definitely going to handle their SEO. I'm excited about it, really excited about it, because these are platforms that need to see the light of day. And they're in Europe, they're not in the US. So people don't even know about it. So imagine. And one of the things I'm going to do as a contribution to that is write an article on the web to talk about Calendly alternatives, because people on Google love to look at products. So when you look at a product and you find an alternative to a product, people will hang on to that alternative because they want to know what's the next big thing, or what's the next best thing. So that's some of the things we're going to be doing for them because they don't have that structure. So I talked with him and it's in the works. So don't be surprised when you guys see my calendar changed from calendly.com to cal.com. And yeah, it's a beautiful place. It's connected. There's so much to do. And yeah, they even connect with WordPress. I'm also rebuilding my website too for the business. We're vamping it on WordPress. So it's a whole new thing. So with this calendar, they're good with SEO. You can connect your Stripe account if you have one, for payments. You have a schedule. You even have routing forms. So let's say I want let's say you book a call with me and now I want to lead you to my designer. Instead of me booking a call with you, I have a routing form that will now take you from our form to his form. So you can get on a call with him, or if you book a call with me and then I can bring him on the team or bring him into the call. It's so cool, really, really cool. And it's free. That's the craziest part. And I was like, I asked him, how do you guys make your money? He was like, oh, we make our money because we already work with like top, 500 Fortune 500 companies, enterprises. So they already made their money. They already made their benchmark. They already hit their quota. They already they've done what they can, and they're comfortable. So that's why it's free for people like you and me. So I'm just telling you about it because I'm going to be featuring him on my podcast, and I'll be talking about it. So very soon, just look out for it in the new quarter. And yeah, that's how I got to know about it, from Berlin to Denmark. To yeah, it's so cool. So yeah, Austin, that's a really good platform. So thank you for bringing that up too as well. Amazing. Richard, thank you for being here. We'd love to hear from you. Question, contribution before we wrap up for the room today. Richard, if you're speaking, you're on mute. But if you are busy, let me know. Okay. All right. So we got to wrap this up. We've been here for a good number of hours. I've been doing crazy heavy rooms. This is 2 hours in. I did a 3 hour room a few days ago. Yesterday's room went crazy. People are loving the topics, and I'm like, yeah, we're gonna keep going. So yeah, thank you, Makita. Thank you so much. I've seen the schedule too, so looking forward to connecting with you and highlighting you as well. Appreciate you so much for joining us today. Awesome. So we are here in the marketing club. We've been here for 2 hours. We've had a great time. A good number of topics have been discussed, and I've broken a lot of concepts down. So for those who are just joining, and for those who have a ticket, I see you as well, Carolyn. It's been a while. Welcome, Carrie and Stacy. Thank you for joining the room today. Please make sure you click the link at the very top that says Marketing Club, and that is going to take you to the club where you can apply, take your ticket off, cash your ticket in, and be part of this amazing club. We're about 349,000 members in here. So we've been growing consistently without fail. And I'm one of the leaders in this house. And I've been doing a lot of rooms. I've been doing daily rooms actually since August 1st. I've been doing daily rooms, from 30-minute rooms to 3 hour rooms, just because I want to pour into you guys and give you guys something, so that when we get on a phone call or Zoom call, it's business. We're not beating about the bush. We're going in, all deep. So this is an article to support the room. So and I posted this article in the middle of this room happening because I already planned for this room. So I wanted to make it very easy, very quick. I didn't want to give too much because there's so many contextual content pieces I have there. But this is a quadrant. And just to give you guys a backstory, if you look at this picture, I made this picture with AI. And how I made this picture with AI, I'm going to do a workshop on this, so I'll let you guys know about it. But there's a platform. I'm saying this now because I don't want you guys I've said it on my platform, I've said it on my podcast, I've said it here. So it's not new information. If you've heard it, it would be great for you to, catch on it. I use a platform called ideogram.ai. That platform is a beast. You can use it for free, you can use it paid, but think about Instagram, but on AI steroids, like beautiful pictures. You can prompt your own images. So I was able to do that with this, and that's how I created that. Thank you, Austin. Appreciate you so much for being here, and thanks for the share, and thanks for everything that you do. Appreciate you. So, guys, that is the Ideogram AI image that I created. I asked for a Rubik's cube. I prompted it. I said I want a Rubik's cube set up, and I want to tackle all these four quadrants within a pillar, and that's where I got that picture from. So you can use that platform as well to save you time. It's like Mid Journey, but I don't know. Things have changed and evolved since Mid Journey days, and it's still there. So you can use whatever you want, but I like to make things easy. I want you to look at it, talk to it, let it get done, go about your day, and everyone's happy. So that's what I wanted to, give you insight on. So thank you so much for joining the room today, Edward. Again, thank you, Mark. Appreciate you so much, Richard, Renee, Dr. Fashion. Thank you for being here. Really appreciate you, Dr. JS, Carolyn, Sack Black Nation, King Vic. Thank you for being here. Michaela, I hope I said it correctly. Sheriff, Jennifer, Sajita, and Baswani. Appreciate you all for being here in today's room. We're going to have another room tomorrow. And make sure that you have this in your. Actually, you know what? Yeah, I'll surprise you guys with the topic tomorrow. So I'll bring it up so you guys can have it here. But we've been having constant rooms, constant rooms. So listen to the replays. Hope you grab something new, learn something new. And if you've signed up as well, make sure when you get the email, apply those things, because when you get those emails, yeah, you'll learn a lot. One email I'm sending over today is our top 10 episodes, because we also want to celebrate with you our 5 years being top 3% globally on listennotes.com. So our goal is to hit top 1% by the end of the year. And I can see it coming because we're about to hit season 9 and in our 400th episode round. So it's going to be really exciting, or I can say the fourth level, if I can put it like that. But yeah, thank you all so much. Appreciate you. God bless you all. Have a blessed Thursday. And I'm going to catch you guys soon in the clubhouse room.